it recording now?
Yeah, just recording.
Okay, good.
It's voice recording.
So
With the legend. This is recorded.
So-
It flow, man.
So basically, all I was saying to you, we get paid for sharing information.
Yeah.
So let's back up. You want to make 20 grand by the time we launch. The only way you're going to make $20,000 by the time we launch, number one, you got to have the right mindset. Number two, you have to have the right strategy. Let's talk about number one. What is the right mindset? The right mindset, I just told you, number one, is you have to, above all, number one, you got to have a burning desire. Okay, number one, a burning desire for why you want to make 20 grand. You have, no one can give you that desire but you. You have to have a burning desire. Beyond that, number two, you now have to be persistent. We're talking willpower. When I say persistent, that means willpower. Okay. Number three, you have to be consistent. Okay. And then number four, I would say you need to be coachable. Okay. Those four things, if you have those four, and in that order, you will achieve your goal. Okay. So what am I saying? So now that you got this recorded, if you're not persistent, if you're not consistent, you won't achieve the goal. Just because you want to make 20 grand, people in hell want ice water. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So the want alone does not achieve the goal. The persistence, the desire, and the consistency is what gets the goal. What I'd like for you to notice, being that you're recording this, notice I'm not talking about any skill at all. I'm solely talking about willpower. The will of a man, the will of a woman. We're talking like they just won't be denied. Maybe I was doing it wrong, but then I'll do it this way, then I'll do it that way, then I'll try this and I'll try that. What is all of that? That's persistency. That's desire. Yep. That's consistency. It's they keep knocking. You know what I mean? I once upon a time heard somebody say, "Look, I've done it wrong enough to finally figure it out." What do you say? I've done it long enough to finally get it right. Again, what are we talking about? We're talking about persistency. See, this is the thing that we talk about when we tell people network marketing is a personal development program. What does that really mean? It means this. On your journey between now and you arriving at 20 grand, the personal development aspect is, do you have the mental maturity to stay consistent? Do you have the mental maturity to what I call your coachability index? In other words, can you take an instruction? Think of the Army, think of the Navy, whether we've been in it or not is irrelevant, but just think of it. When the lieutenant gives the young man in the Army an instruction to, I want you to walk 2 steps and I want you to duck. If the young man does not follow that instruction, he runs the risk of losing his life. All because he didn't follow instructions, right?
Yep.
Okay. So does the young man have the mental maturity to hear an instruction and follow out the exact instruction? If he does not, he's not mentally mature. If he does, he is mentally mature. Let's relate that to network marketing. We're going to give you the instructions of what to do, show you how to do it, all that good stuff. But does the individual have the mental maturity to hear the instruction and carry out the instruction? If you don't, it doesn't mean you're not a bad guy. It just means what you're wanting, it's evading you. It's evading you because you have to grow in your maturity. And let me explain, because I made all these mistakes. I would get an instruction by my mentor years and years ago, and I heard him, I wrote it down, I recorded it, and I would start it, and then I would get frustrated and figure maybe there's something else, and I kept changing my approach. And every time you change, what you're doing is you're digging up the seeds that you had been planting. So watch this. You give me an instruction. You're my mentor. I'm going to do it. I'm going to follow it. But then I get frustrated because I feel like it's not working for me. So then I'm going to go get another mentor. Then he gives me an instruction and I'm going to do his. I don't like that one. Now I'm going to go get a girl. She gives me an instruction. I'm going to do hers. I still don't like it. You know what? I'm going to go get this guy from London. He gives me an instruction and all of a sudden I keep changing so much. So here's the point that I'm saying. Commitment to continuity produces emotional stability. Commitment to continuity produces emotional stability. If you're not emotionally stable in doing what you're doing, you'll be grasping at straws. Always, you just never will be settled, because you'll think maybe it was the beard, maybe it was the fact that you were black, maybe it was the fact of this, maybe it's the accent. You'll always keep questioning if you are doing it right. And remember, we get paid for sharing information. Don't worry about trying to be perfect. I would much rather take a person and work with a person who has ignorance on fire than a person who has knowledge on ice. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I want the activity. The activity. The only way you're going to learn is through activity. Right now, you're not learning anything. You're hearing me. There's no learning happening right now. All you're doing is hearing. And it's impossible for you to remember every word that I'm saying right now. It's good that you got to record it and you can listen to it every day. That's great. You still didn't learn nothing. You don't learn until you actually do it. So where my time is reserved and going to be allocated is for the people who are actually doing what we told them to do. Now for me, if the tables return, I'm hungry, I'm living in London, I'm sitting with one of the 50 greats in the profession, and I want a better life. 2 years ago, I was broke. I went out, you know the story, saved $1 million in 1 year. Broke records in the space, but we're still not done, right? I'm not flexing. What I'm saying is, if the tables were turned and the man was giving me these instructions, I would record them, and I promise you, I would do it. Because what I'm saying is so simple. Bottom line, desire, burning desire, persistency, consistency, and coachability. Those 4 things are the proper mindset. If you adhere to those, now when I give you the assignment of what to do, you got the right mindset. I'm going to give you the proper strategy, so you don't have to worry about the strategy. I'm going to give you that. But if I give you the right strategy to the wrong mindset, it's a waste of time. Mm-hmm. It just meant the person wasn't ready for the moment. They want the goal, they want the result, but they don't have the mental maturity. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So now let's go ahead and talk about, that's about mindset. Let's get to the strategy. You want 20 grand. To make 20 grand, you first of all got to sponsor 40 people. Okay? 40 people you need to sponsor. So let's start. Okay? That's number 1. You must sponsor 40. Let's talk about that. The reason for sponsoring 40 is you must lay your foundation first. The most important part of any building, it's the foundation. The foundation is the hardest part to build. It's the ugliest part of the build. We're sitting in a beautiful hotel right now, gorgeous. But once upon a time, it was just dirt. And somebody had to take the hammer, the nails, and do all that stuff to really, really lay the foundation. So when you talk about you want $20,000 every month, you got to build the proper size foundation to support the size building that you're going to put on it. Are you ready?
Ready.
Let's go.
When you are.
Keep it rolling. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Let's pause it for now. Let's go, bro.
So, you still got it going? Okay. Have a good evening, ladies.
Legends dropping knowledge on me, bruv. It's harder to retain all this when recording it. Yeah. This is what
Good evening, man. Can you turn the music down, please?
This is what
We're having a conversation. So
roll with the legend.
Look at lights here. Let's see here. There's light on.
This guy, he's not even like launched properly. And look what's going on. This guy's on different. Come on, man.
Okay, so basically you gotta, number 1, you gotta sponsor 40 people. And the reason why is because you gotta lay the foundation. The most important part of building anything is the foundation. In this car that we're riding in, Range Rover, most important part is the foundation. Most important part of your family, foundation. You must build the foundation first, okay? So you have to sponsor 40, okay? Mm-hmm. Now, how do you sponsor 40? It's very simple. It's about going through the numbers, all right? So you're either gonna sponsor 1 out of every 10 people that you talk to. If you're bad, you'll get 1 out of every 10. Or if you really suck, you'll get 1 out of every 20. So what does that mean? If you need 40, if we multiply 40 times 10, that's 400. 40 times 20, that's 800. So you know at the very beginning, you're going to have to prospect somewhere between 400 to 800 people yourself, between offline and online, so that you can capture and sponsor 40 people. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. Now, your next question you're going to say to me is, well, what do I say? This is the part where it's really simple. This is the part where it's not so much what you say. I want you to understand, be sincere. Don't be talkative. Don't talk too much. It's not about your words. It's more about your melody. Melody means your intentions, your sincerity, okay? Too many people try and they want to become wordsmiths. And they want to say it perfectly. People don't give a damn about perfect speeches. They care about who you are and what are you really asking me. Does that make sense?
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
So at this point, when you speak to people, you speak to them with a melody and sincerity.
Yeah.
When you're speaking to somebody, what are you thinking about as you're speaking to them to be in that state?
What I'm thinking is, I have to get this done. This is a process. This is a journey. I must do this. There is no retreat. Okay? All I'm thinking, my job is to collect a decision from those people. A decision. Are they open to wanting to learn more or not? That's it. These people aren't going to kill me. These people aren't going to hurt me. Sir, what is your name?
Gassan.
Say it again?
Gassan.
Gassan.
Yeah, Gassan.
Where are you from?
Lebanon.
Lebanon. How long have you lived in London?
28 years.
Well, are you an Uber driver, or are you a black, or just a
No, just private.
private driver? How long have you been driving?
3 years.
You like it?
Now became very horrible.
Become very...
With all my respect.
It's
Lovely customer, but traffic, people driving badly, you see?
Awesome. Do you have a family here in London?
Yeah, I do.
How many kids? You married?
Do?
Nice. Let me ask you a question. I know we don't know each other extremely well. I'm a businessman. I'm expanding a very large business here in London, and I'm looking for people that want more out of life. Let me ask you a simple question.
Yeah.
Are you open to the idea of making more money in addition to you being a private driver?
To be honest with you,
Yes.
I'm planning to go back to my country maybe in 2 years' time.
It doesn't matter where you do it at. My business is global.
Yeah.
The question still stands. Are you open or not?
No, not really, no.
No problem.
Not
Thank you so
really.
much. I appreciate it.
I appreciate your word, yeah, but sorry, no.
No problem. It's okay. So again, back to what we're talking about. So that was just, again, that's exactly what I said. I'm very sincere, I'm very direct, and my goal is to get a decision. Yes, the person is open, or no, they're not. I don't feel offended. I'm not upset. You know, it could be it could be bad timing for him. You never know. It could be the person might be in a bad mood. Maybe they just don't want to make any more money right now. That's not my issue. My job as a messenger is to ask the question. That's it. So, for example, he said, no, he's not open. I told you the only way you're going to sponsor 40 people, you need to actually, you need to talk to 400 to 800 people.
Online, offline.
It doesn't matter, but that would be one. Your job is to collect a decision. So what I just did, that represents one. Okay? So that means you need 399 more. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Or you need 799 more. Real simple.
If you really suck, and that's 1 out of 20.
What's that?
If you're really suck, and it's 1 out of 20, you need the large number.
Yeah, so if you really suck, which is fine. See, again, notice what we talked about first. We talked about the right mindset. So even if you suck, it doesn't matter, because underneath the umbrella of the right mindset is, remember, underneath the umbrella of the right mindset is persistence.
Yep.
Okay? We're talking about willpower. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So there you have it. So basically, you need to lay your foundation. You need to collect 400 to 800 decisions so that you can sponsor 40 people. Now, the second thing you need to decide is, how long do you want to take to get your 40 people sponsored? That is up to you. You can do it in a week, you can do it in a month, you can do it in 2 months, you can do it in 6 months. What you're going to do is take the number 400 or 800, and you're going to divide it by the amount of days that you are willing to go out and prospect people.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
So this number that you gave me, if I was to model somebody like you, obviously you're like top 100, top 50 in the industry. Let's say I was to scale it back, but just taking your actual model with your personal work ethic and time you put into it, how long did it take you to personally hit them kind of numbers? And what was your day like? Was it like was it 10 hours in the day? Was it 4 hours in the day? What was it like for you?
Let's put that question on ice, because I want to get right now. I'm giving you specifically what you need to do, and I'm giving it to you in sequential order.
Sweet.
So we talked about mindset. Now we're talking about the right strategy, which is you need to sponsor 40. I explained to you why. You got to lay the foundation. I also gave you a demonstration right now of exactly how I do it. Does that make sense? Okay. So now, before we wrap that up, you have to decide how long do you want to take to sponsor 40 people. If you want to do it in 30 days, you take the number 400 or 800 and you divide it by 30 days. It's going to tell you how many people you need to prospect, like I just did to this gentleman, every single day. Let's go back to mindset. Remember, we said you need to be consistent? This is what I was talking about. So once again, if you want to sponsor 40 people in 2 months, divide 400 or 800, divide it by 60 days, which is 2 months. It's going to tell you how many people per day you need to collect a decision from prospecting. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That's it. So I don't want to talk to you about how to build a team and all this other stuff until, first of all, you need to get the foundation laid first. Now, ironically, when people want to know more about building a team, let me tell you how simple it is to build a team. The team is going to do exactly what you once upon a time did. So if you didn't do it, then you have nothing to teach them. Every team begins with, they must build their foundation. But if you didn't build your foundation, you can't teach them how to build theirs, right?
Yep.
So again, monkey see, monkey do. Leader of one can become the leader of many. But if I can't lead myself, I cannot lead any.
Deep.
We're done.
Deep. Came out here thinking I'm just going to shake the brother's hand. 5-minute chat. Man's giving me his wisdom. Rolling in a range now, and I don't know where he's taking me to eat.
We're going to dinner. What's the name of the restaurant? Red Rooster? Kasim?
Yeah, Red Rooster.
Red Rooster.
That's the one you're going to, yes?
Yeah.
They say good food.
I've never been there.
Concierge, he connected it. He said it's good food. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Legend.
Will be
Top
a bit of
50.
traffic on our way, yeah, a bit congested now.
Cool.
All right,
I
bro.
have to wait for you, sir, yes? Do I have to wait for you there?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
I'll
Yes.
give you my phone number,
They already gave it to me.
please.
They already gave it to me.
Already you got it?